federal government has inaugurated a 14-man task team to address the growing crisis of building collapses nationwide. Speaking during the inauguration ceremony in Abuja on Wednesday, the Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Ahmed Dangiwa, described the frequent incidents of collapsed buildings as a potential embarrassment. He lamented that the situation had resulted in the tragic loss of lives, injuries, destruction of property, and deep psychological trauma for many families. According to him, the government could no longer afford to allow the crisis to continue unchecked. The minister explained that the reconstituted and expanded task team followed the submission of a detailed report by an earlier committee led by renowned architect Maji Akali. That report included 18 key recommendations aimed at tackling the root causes of structural failures in the country. To ensure comprehensive implementation and accountability, Dangiwa announced that regulatory and professional bodies in the built environment had been included in the newly expanded task team. He said this includes the Architects Registration Council of Nigeria, Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, Quantity Surveyors Registration Board of Nigeria, Town Planners Registration Council of Nigeria, and Survivors Council of Nigeria, actually. 18-man team too. I'm sure you've been following the issue of building collapse, inclusive of POP collapse. I think that's actually the one that has been, more on the trendy aspect in Nigeria right now. Although, yeah, we'll not rule out the building collapse issue. This 18-man team that has been set up by, the Housing Ministry of Housing. Do you think this is a good call?
Okay, we need to save life. We need to save life. I think the minister, that is a good idea. He gets all the body engineering involved. I didn't see about builders association here. Builders, because the builders have their own body.
Okay.
Builders they are the main people building this structure. We have civil engineers, you have surveyors, have architects, and so on and so forth. Yes. So surveys, quantity survey. What is land survey doing in this kind of thing? We just need to include them because they survey the place before we begin to talk about it. It's a structural failure and it's an engineering issue, defection. And the problem is that most of these site supervisors so cut corners. Yes, they ask you to build a particular material. You want to make much money. You want to save money. You want to save what you call so-called cost. You go for substandard. That is the problem. There is corruption in every facet of the world society. It's not just Nigeria. Building collapse is a global thing. It happens all over the world. But our own case, this smaller house is collapsing. Development nations, you see high rise has 30, 40, 60 stories. Okay? We collect that from a trauma or whatever. But what's discussing our own here? The problem here is that we use substandard materials against a particular building that's not supposed to be such material. You can't imagine yourself, you are building a 3-story building or 4-story building. You are using a material that you should also use for a story building. What do you expect? It will collapse. Then the building restoration the council, as a matter of fact, should take a proactive action. Because when the council will have council engineers that gives you authority for building, they should also devise a system whereby they try to see the site of where people are building. Well, we have a problem of locality in a Nigerian setting. You don't see a village man that will give you a space to build a house. You can begin to find out to register. That's another issue. But it's not a threat because the kind of house it's going to build will have nothing to threat of collapse. A village man, people like us, you just find small 3 rooms and build your house, get a 65 inches block. Those are 4 inches blocks, well-mowed block, and build your house. So most of these people are those who are building upstairs, high structures. That's why the problem is.
You're saying that if you have a smaller house, you will not have any issue of building.
Go to the village and say they should come and build. They will carry machete and pursue you. A village man that go to the family, give them what they are supposed to require. They give him a place to build a house. He wants to come to the council quarter to register. That's what they gave to him. That's why they call them community area. Even Greater Port Harcourt Master Plan has a community-based area. The city will gradually begin to take up the place. So They are not a threat. Villagers are not a threat. Some people, they will gather, family will gather and contribute for you. Sometimes they even use mud, build a house, and then carry zinc and put for you. It's not a threat. The threat is the modern day technology, modern building, like this your own. And sometimes you may build a house and the things inside may be highly vibrative that can affect the building. Do you know that a generator can fall a house? A generator with high density, high capacity. You place it close to a building and it's on. The vibration can affect the foundation. It can result to collapse. If a side of your building caves in, it's not collapse. So that is it. So it should be all holistic. It's holistic. It covers better part of the economy. Then again, who is the engineer? Most of these buildings do not have site engineers, project engineers who are social engineers. Who is the architecture? Who is the architect that designed your house? Most houses do not have design. Just like those people drive vehicle on the road, no number, no registration. The same thing with houses in the city, it's not registered. So there should be very strong task force that should be able to implement this thing. That should work with even the locals. Higher registration should also work with the traditional rulers, what the kind of chiefs and elders, because they are also involved in giving land for people to build. You should carry them along, because they are hosts of most of these buildings. Now the estate, there are realtors who say the estate developers acquire land here and there and build houses. They go to the Minister of Lands and pay small money and begin to build structures that is unmonitored, so that's not registered, so that's not guided. Nobody is there to take care of it. So that is it. That should be harmony. That should be peace among the personnel.
So I'm thinking out loud from what you just talked about realtors that go to use the back door. Yes. In that instance, I'm thinking if there
should be involved in this committee.
If there are times where there's any default, well, you have a building collapse and there's a need to check why is the need for the problem for that building collapse, and after this the housing ministry has done this 18-man team, to tackle the issue of building collapse, and eventually it happens. If that defaulter can be put, prosecuted, I think that would also make others that decide not to be involved in, this building plan to, take a different step. I'm just thinking in that line.
Yes, look at the issue we're having here. You don't stay in your comfort of your office and sign document. Go and find the site. You can sign a document that is not a particular site. Yes. They don't bring it out, okay? And those place, so they want to build house, so you sign. Possibly that one you sign is not even the real site. Possibly the one you sign is not even the rebuilding.
So how would this be handled adequately?
Because
you talked about the local council.
That's what I mean. See,
how would it be handled?
It's a simple thing. Yes, the setup committee beautiful, but how is it going to be implemented and get results? You should pop from way to bottom. Having set up this group, also bring the group to the state level, bring the group to the local government level, bring the group to local area.
And there should be, I think, like you talked about the village person that would not want to register because he feels
he can obey the community chief.
Okay.
I'm a head of family. I'm one of the prominent person in my community. We give them land to build house. So such regulation can as well. That's the role of the local government. That is the role of the chiefs and elder. What do they do? If you get to let's ask the primary ruler, and there is a notice given to the primary ruler, okay? The primary ruler, the temporary ruler will get to the heads of families. It will go down. Heads of families will reach to the houses. It's as easy as that. So you carry everybody along. You are not even paying if you pay them, is anything bad in it. But the issue is that having put this policy should trickle down to the barrier, because building affects everybody. It's everybody's business. Nobody's, even ordinary tent should be monitored and know where the tent is, because that can be a tornado. There can be a windstorm that can pull a tent and you kill somebody. It's also a collapse. Churches now use tent. So what is the quality of their tent? So the building institution should be able to find out. Then what is the support base of that tent? Because if there is a very strong wind and the tent is spilled It can kill somebody inside it.
And the issue of POP, I think that's actually been...
The POP is trending, yes. And there are quack POP makers now. People go to learn it. So the government has not really considered POP very, very valuable. Sometimes it affects even the rating of the house. Somebody that do the house with normal ceiling, and somebody that they purported POP. There is variation now. A nice ceiling may be 10 naira. POP is safe easy. They say it's 20 naira. Even you who is a tenant, you are happy my house is on POP. You don't know it's pure debt. So POP in certain areas is not as dangerous as total house collapse. Because it's not a heavy duty something.
But that should also be considered.
No, I'm saying how will even control POP? One boy that has one small self-coin, don't his POP. You go to how will you find out? That one is he can't find that one out. He can't figure it out.
So the engineering regulations council cannot handle that aspect.
That one is complex. One, it can handle when it's a major building you're supervising. Because in the approval, you have the type of ceiling for the house. Because the approval of the architect, that set of a building carries everything from foundation to ceiling, from ceiling to electrical to even safety, which is toilet and your tank. So it's all carried when it comes to architectural building.
So is it that they buy cheaper? Okay, you talked about the cheaper materials and quack getting to operate on those POP construction. Is that actually, do you think that's actually the reason for the constant collapse of POPs?
What I'm saying, better standard houses, like the type of government events, like this type of your own.
Okay.
Before they bring the architectural plan, everything is inside there. You are proving a gamut of the entire building. That architectural plan carries from foundation. Are you hearing me?
Okay.
From the foundation you're digging, the size and so on, carries there, up to the kind of material you're going to use for the walling, up to the ceiling, electrical, roofing, up to the toilet system. So the ceiling system is also included in the architectural plan. Okay. That is it. So you are supervising, you are proving whole of the entire building. That is what I'm saying.
Then how about for people that, you talked about bigger houses, how about the ones that for smaller houses or the ones that...
Now, if you have been able, if the law has permitted to the local level, it can be controlled.
Okay.
If you involve the local people, I have access to houses in my community. As a community leader, I know when I was a community chairman, my border development council, we even take off security. By 2 a.m. we're on the road, we can knock your house, you open for us. So if government has such policy, the same thing the citizens can as well know the kind of thing you're putting in your house. Having given a specification, if they are coming to the government has given a specification of a particular place, they will come there and ask, but what did they use here? See, this one is not proper. It's easy. It can be done. After what does it cost you to do a POP? A young boy is in his room. So boy, in short, I want to trend. He calls one of his brothers who had learned to this thing. What is a POP? It has its own normal noggin. You knock with wood before you put your ceiling. POP has its own noggin. They prepare the wood, they prepare the fiber and hang it. It's also cement. Not this kind, they have a kind of cement they use for it. They mix it, that cement, thick cement, POP cement, and water. And normal sand. It's a bit heavier than normal ceiling. Okay? So that is it. So you'll be able to know the quality and quantity to use at a particular place.
Oh, okay. All right, Chief Wale.
And then make sure the leakage, because what really forces POP is leakage. If your roof is leaking, then the water drops on the thing, it soaks, and then it will collapse.
I think that's why they have the quantity surveyors on part of the 18-month.
Roofing house can leak anytime. That one has not to do text test. So the wrong carpenter can give them, but with years, house can begin to leak.
Okay.
You can patch it.
Okay. That's from the house owner. That's from the house owner perspective.
Yeah, because if you begin to see leakage, even bigger houses, even leak houses this day. I remember when that secretary, what's cleaning secretary, leakage can come from anywhere.
Okay.
So you guide it. Okay. So most buildings that are used for renovation should be renovated, because how they have been for about 30 years, house will have to leave the owner. There will be a duration at the time those materials begin to wear out. So that's it for renovation.
All right.